everybody! Welcome, bem-vindos a todos. So the topic for this week is the lack of European Portuguese content, specifically in the US. So when I started tutoring in 2011, one of the first things I did was visit the local library here in Santa Monica and see what kind of Portuguese books they had available. And very sadly, I noticed that from the whole collection of Portuguese learning books, 95% were Brazilian, and I only found 2 to 3 European Portuguese books. And even those, they were not from a Portuguese publisher, they were from an English publisher, and the author was British. So there's definitely this lack of books here in the US to learn European Portuguese that is very sad. And I feel it, on a daily basis. Some of my students, when I recommend certain books, they have such a hard time buying them. Like one of my students had to ship a book from Germany that he had bought through Amazon because the Portuguese publishers are definitely not doing a good job giving this access to these books to American people. So that is something that is definitely needs to be improved. And that brings me to why did I launch Learn European Portuguese Online? So it was definitely a project that was born based on a need, a constant need that I found when I was teaching European Portuguese. This lack of content where I wanted to explain certain things to my students, and I didn't have the resources available for me. So based on my background in advertising and branding, and I took this course to learn how to work with certain tools online, I started creating my own layouts for Facebook and my own videos for YouTube. So I really like to develop my own content because I use them in my lessons, and it just gives a new, fresh, I feel like it's a new, fresh way of learning, where with books and traditional teaching, it's very standardized, basically you just change the language and it's all the same. So I feel like with my content, it's very visual. I try to explain grammar easily, and I try to organize things so you can easily see the translation. It's very important for people that are learning a language to have a translation so they can understand what they're studying. When you have, that's another thing that I find with the European Portuguese notebooks is that the ones that I do have now from Portugal, they're all in Portuguese. And while I do understand that, you do need the full immersion, but in certain cases, it's important that the student has access to the translation to make sure he fully understands what he's learning. So that's why when I develop my content, I really try when possible and when it makes sense to have the translation so the student can easily comprehend the content. So I hope you've been enjoying my videos and my Facebook posts, and if you have any comments or suggestions of any things that you would like me to explore, please let me know. I welcome all comments and suggestions, and I'll definitely take a look. So have a great week. Adeus, até a próxima.